Our ability to cope is sometimes impeded by our ability to take action, and there may have been things that have led to this, past behavioral patterns that we've had to maladapt to, or it could be just simply that we've had stress arise within our environment. So as EFT tapping is a stress reduction tool, we'll do an EFT tapping on our ability to cope. So taking full responsibility for our own well-being and repeating after me. Let's go with the flow. Let's begin to tap. Even though my ability to cope may be impeded by this overwhelming stress and this overwhelming fear, and it's impeding me to take action, and I don't feel too good within myself right now. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I have a lot of fear right now, a lot of anticipatory fear, where I'm fearing the worst and not feeling too good within myself. And I might be feeling out of control. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I might have this voice that's demanding a lot of me right now. Yet I have this inability to act and meet those demands that I put upon myself. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself. All of the stress, all of this overwhelming stress. I feel overwhelmed. It's very overwhelming. All these negative thoughts. My body that is frozen is very tense. All this muscular constriction as I brace for the worst. My brain is telling me a lot of worst case scenarios that I'm perceiving, that I need to be on the ready for, that my body is responding to by almost putting myself in traction as this ability to enact any form of change is met by this constriction. And things aren't flowing at the moment. They feel wound up, bound up, curled up, as I wait for the worst to happen. And it's not a good situation for me to be in, as my brain likes to remind me, as it continues to yell at me to keep moving, to keep doing. I should be able to, but my ability to cope is definitely not able to meet the demands that I put upon myself. All these criticisms, all these self-judgments I give myself. And to motivate myself by demotivating myself, by telling myself how useless I am. Somehow I'm supposed to be of use to myself. And I feel very suppressed, very depressed in this moment. I feel so heavy. I feel so tired. I feel so worn out. I feel so burnt out. My circuit breaker is burnt out. I have not the capacity to take on more energy, or any other responsibility which might be met by less tolerance for myself or less tolerance for others. And all I've done in this moment is bring awareness to a situation, a problem that I need to fix. I may have been aware of this problem, kind of like being aware of a fire that's burning in a room in my house. I'm aware of it, and eventually I'll attend to that need. But it tends to spread fires, and similar to stress, this inflammation will creep up and start to make me feel not too good within myself. I might have to look at this with a loving curiosity rather than a harsh criticism. Were there other times in my life where I may have been of service and of needs to others, where my needs didn't matter, where I could just put my feelings aside, give them the silent treatment, and I'll attend to them when I want to, when it's convenient to me. But a lot of these emotions are inconvenient, are uncomfortable, and very difficult to manage, because I fear I might lose control if I step into this vulnerability and step into receiving, where my body is saying no, and I'm saying yes to more stress, or to people where their needs matter more than my own, where I can put aside my needs and ensure that they're cared for rather than my own needs that do need caring. And in my open, loving curiosity, I might have to ask myself, of being service to others, was that how I was seen? And was that how I was valued? And was that how I was loved? When I did for others what they couldn't do for themselves, was that how I received my love and my recognition and my awareness by being of service to others and forgoing my own needs in the process? Will I be a letdown in other people's eyes if I take some time for myself and attend to my own needs? Will people see me as weak if I attend to my vulnerabilities and my wounds? Is getting better a sign of being weak? Because if I look at the repetition of constantly forgoing my needs, giving them the silent treatment, pretending they don't exist, then the outcome may have led to the overwhelm. And this freeze response, as I'm shutting down, my body is tensing up, bracing for that worst outcome. Is this the life that I want to live myself? By living for other people's needs? I might want to do the opposite, which might mean relearning some new behaviors for myself. My needs do matter, and they're definitely letting me know that it's good to attend to my needs. I'm allowing this tension to be the recognition that my needs do matter. And I'm responding to my body with loving acceptance. This inability to cope may have been by my capacity of being overwhelmed by stress, rather than my capabilities in hearing my emotional needs and being there for them. And being there for myself, accepting all parts of myself with loving acceptance. My voice does matter. And if my body is being screaming out no, I'm going to listen to that voice and start to say to it, I'm here for it. I'm going to attend to my hurt so I can start to feel better in myself and gain more ability within myself. And if I'm frozen in terror, then I'm easy prey. So in a survival sense, in slow, accepting ways, in loving and gentle ways, and step by step, I might want to start to move my body, which sounds counterintuitive because I'm so worn out. But am I worn out or burnt out? Is my fatigue due to being bathed in stress? Perhaps I want to unplug that tub and allow that stress to flow. I allow my body to move, allowing it to groove a little, finding some freedom through movement. Rather than inaction, perhaps I want to take some safe action for myself. And I don't want to overdo it. I'm definitely stuck in a moment of non-doing. So maybe a little bit of doing might get some endorphins flowing, some serotonin going, rather than the stagnation and the cycle of fear that I'm surrounding myself in. Am I heavy because I'm weighed down by stress? Am I confined by all this control that I'm perceiving by all this threat that is going to attack me? Have I built a fort for myself as I'm confined within this fear? Perhaps I want to keep mobile, go for a little walk, do a little bit of cleaning around the house, dance a little. Freedom through movement, rather than confinement and stress, which might give my body something else to focus on. And I say to this voice in my head, I hear the fire alarm, but I don't want to listen to it all the time. gets a bit annoying to listen to. Perhaps I want to listen to some good stuff and look to my actions as the proof that I'm getting better. Rather than being curled up and listening to myself yell at myself. I don't need the lessons of my past to teach me to go nowhere in the future. I'm the captain of my own ship. There are ups and downs in life, and my ability to ride those waves depends on my actions rather than my inactions. There is a time for rest, but if my rest is just stewing in the stress, it might be time for action. Meeting my needs where they are, rather than where I want them to be. I'm allowing the stress to flow. Allowing this fear to not dominate my life. And by clearing the stress, and by turning down the volume on this fear, I allow new possibilities to arise. New things that I haven't thought about because I was too busy thinking about the fear. New situations that might be open to me that are not stuck with me. They're somewhere out there where I'm not. And by escaping this fear, I get a little bit more freedom. Emotional freedom, physical freedom, the freedom to be myself, and the freedom to have new possibilities arise for myself. And I gain new abilities where I'm not coping. I'm living in the moment and dealing with the stress as it arises in mind, body, and spirit. And taking a full breath in and out. We can become stuck in stress. EFT tapping helps to unstuck. Even if we look to the acupuncture element of EFT tapping, it's putting in needles into the different meridian points to channel the flow into other areas. And if things aren't flowing, they may be stagnating. And one of the things that I found myself that is very counterintuitive, because it's like, oh, I've got no energy. It's like my body is like all tense and all that. But you don't get freedom through thinking about how to get more free. You get freedom through being free, through moving, through getting the body a little bit more regulated. But the more that we think about fear, the more that we stay in fear. It becomes a fear cycle. And it's hard to break that fear by overthinking other ways of getting out of fear. Sometimes the best way to get out of something is to take action. And our inability to take action is through the inability to see that the actions that we're taking are only getting the same results. So sometimes it's doing something different to get different results, which means stepping outside of the fear and stepping into the unknown and stepping into something that is actually a little bit more freeing. So I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services. I offer EFT tapping one-on-one online. So check out eflowtionsupportservices.com and definitely book in a session. These EFT tapping videos are merely demonstrations of EFT tappings. So if you want a full, deeper healing, then I definitely encourage you. If not, then you're stuck with the videos. So I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.